morning. It is Tuesday morning. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you. This is our first show today. It is Coffee Tuesdays, where we talk about real estate and mortgages. I am Bradley Resnick.
I am Lauren Gillerin.
And today's topic, we are going to talk about first-time home buyers. What to look for, what you need to know, how to make your first-time home buying experience, the best possible way that you can do that. So I'm going to give just a little bit of info. One of the things that I always think that it's important to do is talk to a realtor. I am a little biased because I am a realtor, but there are certain things that having the right realtor can help you out in moving forward.
Absolutely.
In your opinion, from the mortgage side, what is, one important of having a client with a good realtor, and why is it important to come and see someone like you?
I think it's important especially as a first-time buyer, to have a realtor in the game for you, because negotiating is everything. In this climate with commissions and things being, everything on the table is basically negotiable. So having someone with that skill set that's fighting for you, has your back in your best interest is everything. I mean, that basically dictates the entire transaction. And then that's where I come in. And I kind of help facilitate that transaction. So I deal with a lot of first-time home buyers. I personally enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I like educating people.
And from a realtor standpoint, I don't know if you're seeing a lot of this on the mortgage side, but I'm noticing, the mean household prices are going up.
Yeah.
What your starter home today is, a lot more than a starter. Yeah, I'd say about 250,
I think
260
the average
even.
right now is 250, 260.
And I think that those first-time home buyers aren't prepared for that because, so are there programs that can help out these first-time home buyers so that it's not eating away their pocketbook?
Absolutely. So MSHDA is a great program.
Oh, what's MSHDA?
MSHDA is it's a Michigan program. It offers $10,000 in home buyer down payment assistance. So that goes towards your closing costs, your prepaids, basically your bottom line. It's a silent second. So it's not grant money, it's not free money, but it does hang on the back end of your mortgage silently, not accruing interest for the time of the loan. And it's a huge, we're talking about, if a starter home costs $250, $260, that barrier to entry, that if you're talking about a first-time home buyer program, generally you're talking about putting 3% down. Most programs offer 3% down. 3% of that, it's $7,500. So if you think about what 10 grand can do, and that's just your down payment. That's not your taxes. That's not your year of homeowner's insurance up front. That's not, all the other title fees, like the standard fees that you'll see on most transactions. That $10,000 can help substantially lower your bottom line. So it's a huge tool for first-time home buyers. If that barrier to entry is really that down payment, the down payment assistance programs like MSHDA are essential.
So pairing that with a good realtor who can negotiate on your behalf, whether it's needing concessions or something like that, or being able to help you find the lender to qualify you for those programs is extremely beneficial. To save you money on both ends of your transaction, make your first home buying experience, hopefully a lot smoother than some of these other agents and, mortgage lenders out there who don't know what they're doing.
I would say that is crucial. I'm proud to say this. I work for Mortgage One. Mortgage One has been the #1 MSHDA lender in the state of Michigan for 14 years now. So I'm very finding a lender that's well versed in the program, because there are hoops to jump through. So finding a lender that knows what they're doing and knows how the caveats and the ins and outs of this program, super essential. I think that I mean, that really, once the purchase agreement is drawn up, once you've made the decision to buy this house, the ball's put in my court, and I have to take it and run with it. And if I don't know where I'm going, and if I'm trying to figure out those steps along the way, can make it really challenging for, it makes it confusing, and it makes it it can be frustrating for any buyer or agent or anyone involved in the transaction. So finding someone that really knows the ins and outs and is like, very well versed in the program is essential.
So, being on the realtor side, I will always tell my whether they're first time home buyers or not first time home buyers, get yourself pre-approval. There are steps that you need to take in order to make your buying experience or selling experience, for that matter, move very smoothly. But on the buyer side, there's definitely a list of things that you need to have done. If me as your realtor, the first thing I'm going to tell you is let's get you pre-approved so that we can figure out what type of home we can get you into, what you're looking for, what other things, being a lender, would you want a first-time home buyer to come prepared with?
I mean, documentation-wise, it's pretty simple, and it does vary case to case based on what you do. Everyone, it's not a black and white process. Everything's a little bit different depending on your situation. But I would agree, having that pre-approval in hand before you go out shopping is so crucial. Because what I've seen in the past, and if you're just going, if you get a bad pre-approval, let's say you get a pre-approval that was hastily done and wasn't done thoroughly, and you get thrown on a number, and now you're looking at houses in the, let's say, 300,000 range. Come to find out, you filed taxes last year and you owned a business and you show a $7,000 loss. Now your income's adjusted. Now we're looking at a totally different price range. If you've already been out looking at $300,000 houses, it is very difficult to find yourself falling in love with a 250, 240, 230. It can throw things off that much. So having a solid pre-approval is really, it's imperative. I mean, it can ruin your home buying experience if it's not done properly. So I think that's coming to the table prepared, and having that to give to an agent only gives that agent more confidence in you as a buyer, and they're willing to jump over any hurdle. They'll jump over the moon for you, knowing that you're a solid buyer. And I think that's everything. I mean, it's so important. It's so important. It's so important.
And I deal with a lot of, over here, Berkshire Key Realty, we deal with many different kinds of buyers and sellers. One of the types of buyers that I see a lot are people that are W-2 or not W-2 employed. They're 1099 employees. So just like me here as a realtor, I'm a 1099. My income can vary depending on how the housing market's going or how other things. How do you, when you can't show that proof of income, what's the best way for a first-time home buyer to be able to get you some of that information when they're a 1099 and they're not?
It's easy. It's no different. As long as you're working with an experienced lender, it's really it's a matter of how I look at it, and how we have to follow. I mean, guidelines are guidelines. Any lender you go to has to follow. If you're looking at a conventional conforming loan, everybody has to conform. We all have to abide by Fannie and Freddie guidelines. So if you're a 1099 employee, I would be asking for your 1099s the last 2 years. I'd have to look at your tax returns. We'd look at an average, depending on what our findings would show. Maybe I need a 1-year average versus a 2-year average. So this is why I say it's not every case is black and white. Everyone is a little bit different depending on your situation and your time, length of employment. If you've been in business for over 5 years, I may need less than 2 years. So it all kind of depends. It's very hard to say exactly what the process is, but that's what is so important and crucial about having a lender that knows what they're doing.
And to go along with that, if you have an agent who has a good relationship with a lender, who can work together and always is knowing, hey, I know that your client's going to need to get this done, but communication is always I'm going to tell you this right now. If you are a
Yeah.
home buyer and you have to contact your agent or your lender 2-3 times before they get back to you, run. Because especially in this process, you need someone who is going to be able to answer your call. This is a very delicate time for you and a very big decision to make. And if you don't have people that are fighting for your side, or you have, an agent who, I hate working with this lender, I wish that, and then you can't actually have a constructive conversations and get things to where they need to go. Then when you get to title stuff and you get towards the closing, things can be a little sloppy. And to avoid sloppiness and to avoid, a not happy experience, if you want something streamlined and you want something to move as efficient as possible, the best thing to do is find yourself an agent and find yourself a lender who has a good relationship with that agent to make sure that things can go more favorable for you.
And it has good communication. Communication is so crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to stay in contact with your lender. For example, anyone that I work with in pre-approve, they have my number. You're looking at a certain house or you see something that comes on the market, text me. I'll run numbers for you. So you have an idea as to what your estimated payment's going to look like, what your estimated cash to close looks like, and I'll even do my best to project what your payment's going to look like next year once you're reassessed, because taxes are a big part of your payment, and it's inevitable that you're going to be reassessed. That's just part of Michigan tax law. So.
And speaking of taxes and things like that, I get a lot of my clients ask me, well, I don't want to put my house on the market right now because, or I don't want to buy a house right now, I should say, especially since we're talking to first-time home buyers today. I don't want to buy a house right now because the interest rates are too high. Or I don't want to buy a house right now because it's the winter and there's not a lot of houses on the market right now. I always tell, my clients that right now is always the best time to buy because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know where those rates are going to go.
Yeah. Nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing is guaranteed in this business, if we've seen. But also...
But there are a few guarantees.
What are some of those guarantees?
All right, well, you're not going to be able to... speaking to the rate, apprehension on, buying because of where rates are is real and normal and very common right now. But the reality is you won't be, if rates do come down and you don't have a property, you don't get to refinance. So, and at that you need a house to refinance. Waiting until rates drop doesn't always bode well, because it's like that. I'm sure people have seen that meme or that whatever. There's one person in the race they're running, and then all of a sudden rates drop a quarter, and there's 7 more people running. Rates drop another quarter. Now you got 15, 20 people behind you. So it becomes more competitive. You'll see more of a bidding war. You really have to time out when the best time to buy is for you. And I always think they say, marry the house, date the rate. That's what it is.
Yes, definitely.
So people always think, well, I'm going to wait till rates come down, or think about the idea of if you think about refinancing, you need a property to refinance. So if you're waiting for that time, and there's a house on the market right now that you love, and you want to pass it up because you want to wait for rates to get lower, you don't, like he said, there are no guarantees. You don't know what's going to be on the market when it is your time to buy.
So if rates are higher, would you say that, maybe they're starting to come down a little bit, they've been hovering at, a certain number for so long. If you're putting in, let's say, that starter home, and I want to put in an offer at $250, the chances are probably I'm going to get that offer, right? But if those rates are shooting down and then all of a sudden there's a lot more bids for that property, am I still going to get that property for $250?
There are no guarantees. Yeah, no guarantees.
Most likely not.
And you're going to probably have to compromise. You're probably going to have to sacrifice a home inspection. You're going to have to make some moves that aren't financial, aren't, in my opinion, some of the best moves you can make. And people have to do that. And when you're in bidding war situations, you have to make compromises that aren't always in your best interest. But it will get you in that. It will give you keys to that house. It'll give you keys to
And
the front door,
sometimes
so.
it'll come down to the mortgage too, because you'll have people sitting with multiple different offers. Oh, well, this one's not really sure based on their rate, or if it's an FHA, or if it's this, that, or the other thing. People will, if you have identical offers on a table, they're going to look at which one is accompanied by the best mortgage with the best down payment with the best, so that they know that their client or their customer is going to be able to qualify and get that mortgage.
Which I will say circles back around to effective communication. So someone that's working with Brad and I, Brad tells me, hey, we wrote an offer on such and such. I can call that listing agent and sing your praises. You want someone that's gonna, just like you want an agent that's willing to negotiate and fight for you. You want a lender that's gonna do the same. And if you're a strong, if I have your documentation, if we've run your file, if I've done all the legwork to prove that you're a solid, a solid pre-approved client, I can sing those praises, knowing, and that bodes very well to a lot of listing agents. That makes them feel more comfortable with your offer. So it's just another tool in your back pocket to have, to have someone that's willing to fight for you.
I agree.
Especially in a competitive market like that,
I completely agree. Is there anything else that you think that, tidbits of information that you would want to leave behind to anybody who is brave enough watching our show today? That
So
if you're a first time home buyer, would you say, besides, obviously come and see me, come and talk to me about helping find a place. We will help Lauren pre-approve you to get into a place that is, perfect for you and your family. Is there anything else that you would want to leave, advice or any tips for first-time home buyers?
Yeah, I would say get in touch with a lender that knows what they're talking about and is familiar with these programs, familiar enough to guide you through it confidently without hiccups, and get you to the finish line. Whether or not you need your hand held or not, I'm here to hold your hand if you if you need it. So
We will walk with you.
It is scary. It's a daunting thing for a lot of first-time home buyers. The process itself can be overwhelming. But if you have a good team and you have people that are working truly for your best interest, I don't see how you can go wrong. We can get you out of that apartment. You can stop throwing away your rent. You can stop throwing away, paying somebody else's mortgage, and actually build equity and build something build a solid financial future for yourself down the line.
It's a great time to be a buyer, a first-time home buyer, or any buyer for that matter. If you are interested in our services, please, my name is Bradley Resnick with Berkshire Hathaway Key Realty.
My name's Lauren Gillerin from Mortgage One.
Together, this is Tuesday Morning Coffee. I am finished with my coffee. It's time for me to get a warm up and get to work.
Same.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.